The following is a reenactment of actual events. Clothes and sobriety have been added to protect sensitive viewers. Still, discretion is advised.
Consonant. Consonant. Vowel. Another consonant. Put your clothes back on, Carl. Ugh. Little early. Honey. You them. Lewis is sharing something. What the? Hello, Emmett Ryan from Ball in Europe here. It's been a while. Sorry about that. At some point during the week, I'll explain why that's happened. But that's not why you're here to hear about why I've been away. You're here because Luka Doncic has gone from the Dallas Mavericks to the Lakers in a trade, if you can call it a trade even, given the value involved. And we're gonna get right into it. If you haven't already, please subscribe. But you know why you're here. Let's get to it. So this trade, it's very hard to grade, isn't it? Because obviously the Mavs get the worst of all possible grades. So you're kind of going, right, so what's that mean? Well, it's really who came out better slightly. Was it the Jazz or was it the Lakers? It is the Lakers, but it's more by how much, because it's worth noting just how little the Jazz had to actually do here in this three-team trade. 110 grand, get a couple of picks and a player. So, yay. For them, good go Utah. But yeah, no, this is, in terms of fees, this is where we're getting to start. Like, the value is just ludicrous in terms of the lack thereof. And like, I've been joking with friends about this the last day since this all broke, and like, it's just how little the Mavs got. So they have managed to get Anthony Davis, what's likely to be a bad first round pick, and basically that's it, for a 25-year-old generational talent who's a top three player, perennial MVP candidate, pretty much carried the team on his back to the finals last year. And their main issue with him seems to be that he's not the slimmest guy alive. Okay. In exchange for that and enabling the continuance of Lakers exceptionalism, they've gotten a guy who was brilliant, is still quite good, but is also 7 years older and clearly only has a few years of starter quality left him in the league, and certainly is past what anyone would call his prime. And again, a late first rounder, and that is what they've traded. They've also traded any desire for free agents to want to come to Dallas in the near future, because obviously, you know, Clay was attracted to playing with Luka. When the trade happened, Kyrie was attracted to it. And when you look at what essentially, I've forgotten the exact fee, but what Porzingis, Brunson, and Luka went for collectively is basically Anthony Davis, Spencer Dinwiddie, and I think it's a few bags of sweets, something like that. But in all seriousness, like, the fee is insane, because when you think about what is going for multiple first round picks these days in terms of quality player, it is borderline all-stars you're talking about. Like, not like, you know, all NBA reliable players, not guys we're talking about as being regular MVP candidates. It's guys who are on the border of an all-star for two or more, really more than that. All-stars, like I was saying to Lewis, the guy who was the first person to send me the Shams text, that I think the going rate for a sixth man in the NBA these days is forced first-round picks, and you get the governor of the state you're being traded into to be your personal chauffeur. So you know, there's no getting around it. I can't say the Mavs got fleeced, because it wasn't the Lakers doing the fleecing, it was the Mavs letting them do the fleecing. So, like, let's not talk value here. Let's just accept the value is wildly one-sided and get on to the next point. Because let's talk about what it means for Luka. For starters, you're talking over 100 million in lost money for him. I've seen some people say, "Oh, the Adelsons didn't want to pay the Supermax contract." Essentially, in terms of actual money saved by the Mavs as an organization, Adelsons, other shareholders, etc., it's actually minimal, because the salary floor effectively means that. So while, yes, they'd have had to go to a certain level higher than they probably would have liked with Luka, when you factor in how much more money he brought into the franchise by being Luka, and all that, and what they still have to spend no matter what, I don't see a real financial saving for the Mavs. So essentially, it's 100 million lost for Luka Doncic, with more than 100 million. But once you get to 100 million, you're starting to get arg. So that's pretty bad to start out with. Obviously, in the Supermax extension, then you throw in what's going to happen to him in terms of development-wise. Because great, he's going to be at the Lakers, and he's going to be a hugely important piece. He's always got LeBron to work with there, and LeBron, is obviously going to stay around for at least this season, possibly next. Like, all indications seem to be he'll do at least one more season in the NBA. But at the same time, you're going, right, like, is it a more of a championship contender than the one team he left? No, like, not remotely. It's like, oddly, the loss of AD really hurts them in that respect, because he was sort of a piece Luka could have used. So there's that. Now, are they in a position to build going forward? Absolutely. Are they more free agent attractive than they were? Absolutely. Did we know they were going to be this way? Yeah. Like, even without Luka, they were going. It's the Lakers. Like, Lakers exceptionalism unfortunately exists. So for Luka, there's no real, extra gain that he wouldn't have otherwise had he arrived as an actual free agent. So yeah, for him, he's like going to, obviously there's more attention, you would say, argue, by being in the LA market with the local market, but at the same time, like, he was the guy in Dallas. The Cowboys are currently, a disaster. Rangers aren't exactly great. And the Mavs are bigger than anything in hockey and soccer. No offense, everybody there. So you're kind of going, right, well, in the Dallas market alone, he was already, the dude. It's like, so it's not like he was exactly, not getting massive media attention. And also, when you are a top 3 player, unless you have the utter quietness of life of a Tim Duncan, you're also going to get heavy attention all the time. I suppose Nikola Jokic actually is a good example in terms of how he's able to tune it all out. So yeah, it's not like it's going to be that big a media boost to him. And he's now competing with ghosts, the Lakers legends of the past, much more than anything else. So it's like, you're not insert laundry list of Hall of Famers here, will be whenever anything goes wrong. And the weight stuff is obviously not going to go away. Like, personally, I've always thought the weight stuff is wildly overblown, because I'm looking at his ability to grind it out on the court. Would a shredded Luka be better than the current Luka? I don't think so. Now, could he do it being in a little better conditioning? Absolutely, but I think he's sort of going for the Jokic bod type approach, albeit at obviously a backcourt position, and now probably could do with losing a few pounds, but hello, look at me. So yeah, I'm not. I always thought the white stuff was overblown, so that'll get under more attention in LA for sure. But I really think that, okay, having LeBron as the great media focus in your area probably does help you to live quieter. But otherwise, I don't see it being a huge plus for him basketball wise, and at least in the short term, I don't see it being a major boost for him in terms of his ability to generate revenue in the short or long term, even though LA is obviously a bigger market than Dallas. Again, because of, there's more competition, basically. And really, just fundamentally, he's down $100 million. This is a loss for Luka Doncic. Simple as that. So yeah, you may go, he will have the last laugh, don't get me wrong. He's getting a championship before the Mavs, I think, at this rate. But that's because we got to talk about this part. Oh boy, Mavs Reddit was, I thought, quite measured. Don't get me wrong, they were absolutely furious, but I actually thought they got their points across really well. You saw a few of their comments in the cover screen of this. And let's get to the big conspiracies. Are the Adelsons trying to move the team to Vegas? Possibly, but they're going to be in competition for the Vegas slot. The NBA is planning an expansion side, and expanding into Vegas rather than a brand new expansion to Dallas is probably a bit more appealing to the NBA if they have to launch a new team. So, because obviously Dallas will be the natural next market to go to, assuming Seattle is one of the other 2 expansions. So yeah, I don't immediately go, this is the Adelsons trying to get the Mavs get so weak that they can move them to Vegas. I don't immediately buy that, and if it is, it's poor planning by the Adelsons. Let's get the other conspiracy stuff out, that this is all Lakers exceptionalism, the NBA is rigged. It's if the NBA was rigged that much, Chris Paul would never have been a Clipper. It's I'd love to tell you, but no, Chris Paul would never have been a Clipper if the NBA was rigged that much. And Lakers still have a lot of work to do, even after adding one of the best players on the planet, Luka Doncic, in terms of getting better. So I'm not buying the NBA scripted stuff. I am putting this down to the sheer utter stupidity of the front office, and I'm not putting it down to any sort of grand plan to go to Vegas. I'm putting this down to people not being very intelligent. Like looking at what Nico was saying afterwards, saying that the bosses laughed at him when he suggested it. That should have been a warning. If your bosses are laughing at your idea, and maybe have a second to think about it, because they didn't shop around. They didn't get the value they should have gotten at all. If you are going to offload a talent player this level, you've got to bring in the picks. You've got to bring in the assets. You don't bring in a 32-year-old. No offense to AD, he's going to be a Hall of Famer, all that. But if you're getting prime AD for prime Luka, plus that's a different debate. You're not getting prime AD. You can tell I'm annoyed by this. I don't like when people are very dumb. Even if it's something that will benefit me in life, by the way. It just annoys me. And so, I look at this and I go, how on earth does he think this puts them in a better position to win a championship either this year or down the line? Because obviously Kyrie's aging very well, but still an aging Kyrie, an aging Clay, an aging AD. This is like when the Nets gave up the farm to get the Celtics' big three basically back together. Obviously, didn't have all of them still at Boston. Boston got a load of assets. And we saw how that worked out for Brooklyn. So then they did it again, of course. And they somehow still managed to get a lot of magic dust and get loads of picks back. So I suppose they found a way with a change in front office personnel to make up for, all the mulligans. But at the same time, wow. And it's like, if you're kind of going, well, Luka's got issues with the coaches, the front office, the owners. That's one of the rumors going about. I kind of go, I'm starting to ask questions if you've got one of the best players in the world who's got issues with the coaches, the owners, and the front office. Because if he's lost his teammates, then I go, okay, maybe they should all need to be moving on from him. But quite clearly from the reactions yesterday, he hadn't lost the locker room. The teammates liked that the dude's a fighting competitor who wants the absolute best, who demands the most. Like LeBron. And like KD, although KD's probably more chill, he lets it out on Twitter instead. But seriously, it's like one of those things of like LeBron has had coaches moved, he's had a front office changed, he has been a front office. The reason for that isn't pure ego. It's a case of he demands absolute excellence. Luka demands absolute excellence, and the players around him clearly bought into that. The people who were, not the playing staff seem to not. So that's bad. That's not good for Dallas. So we're going to get to the last one, which is the one person in all of this who you should feel genuinely sorry for, no matter what. Timmy, my man. Oh, Timmy. I don't remember I'm saying, oh, Timmy. I'm referring to Timmy McCarthy. I'm not. I'm referring, of course, to the other Tim, the Tim who is suffering, the Tim who was in pain, the Tim that is McMahon from ESPN, because the Wonder Boy, Luka Doncic and the Curse of Greatness is due to come out on the 25th of March. Tim announced this in mid-November. And you can imagine what jerseys he's wearing on the cover, and I'll give you a clue. It's not the frickin' Lakers. That oddly led to me finding something else, which was a freezing cold take of mine from back in August, so we had Basketball Forever. Well, Kevin O'Connor was the original tweeter, that the Lakers are reportedly eyeing Luka Doncic as their next face of the franchise after LeBron James retired. That was the shot, as I put it. I had a truly great shot on Chaser Combo tweets, because I thought that in August was ludicrous. And it was followed by this guy, Feel Like OBK, saying, and I'm eyeing Sidney Sweeney. Because that was how plausible it seemed that Luka was going to be a Laker at any time in the near future. Because, there's about as much chance of, OBK there, landing Sidney Sweeney as his next beloved. OBK, if you're watching, I doubt you are. Best of luck with that. But more importantly to Tim, seriously, best of luck with the book, dude. This is the type of thing where you can't plan for, you can't expect, and you can't even foresee. Trades do happen, but we don't expect them at this level, at this point in the season, this close to your book coming out. So serious love to Tim. Obviously, lots of love to the Mavs fans who are in pain at the moment and shock at this. And to any of Luka's buddies who are just annoyed by all of this. And Luka as well, if he doesn't like it, but he'll be fine. He'll be fine. Luka for losing $100 million, which we had no control over. That's everything from this rambling, long, disjointed video. Sorry it's been so long since it's been away. As you can probably tell, I'm not fully over what was keeping me away. It's basically a form of lethargy and has been making it harder for me to have the energy I need, essentially. So I had to ration it more. But don't worry, nothing that's long term. It's all fixable. Just meant I've basically been energy-wise the last few months. But listen, thank you all. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And I will be back with you very soon.